Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
It's Tuesday.
Did you get possessed by a ghost while
Right?
you were doing
Tuesday.
Oh, goodness. We're so glad you're here. It's officially, well, not officially, it's unofficially summer, but it's officially hot, which means it's pool noodle season. And why does that matter? Because the dollar store, your dollar spot, any particular dollar shop that you go to has pool noodles real cheap, and we're sharing hacks that you can use pool noodles for. So stock up, go buy like 7.
Yeah, pause the epi, go buy a bunch of pool noodles, and then come back
for $7.42, and then come back.
Okay, so let me just like tell you a dollar store story right now.
Yes.
Okay. My husband John is obsessed with the new Dr. Pepper creamy coconut flavor. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So, they make a Dr. Pepper Zero with this creamy coconut in it.
Okay.
And he like has gone nuts on it. Like anytime he sees it at a gas station, he's buying that little 16-ounce bottle, whatever. So he says, can you look up and find where I can buy a 12-pack of cans, which will probably be much more affordable than these 16-ounce gas station convenience store bottles.
Right.
So I am searching Dr. Pepper Zero creamy coconut.
Ew.
And 2 places come up on where to buy this.
Okay.
One is Walmart.
Yep.
And the other one is Family Dollar.
Yep. That sounds like right.
H-E-B, the very large, very powerful grocery store in Texas, doesn't carry it.
Yep.
Target doesn't carry it. Walmart and Family Dollar.
All right. Head on over. And while he's there...
I went to Walmart. They didn't have it.
Oh.
I went to Walmart. That's how much I love this man.
But
they didn't have it, so I didn't have to give them my money.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not a big Walmart person either. No judgment, people who are. It's just not my thing.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. Please.
Do what you
Last week, I talked about how much I love JT. Everybody has different things that they are standing for.
Totally. Oh, goodness. So let's do some
Oh, sorry.
show.
Yeah. Back to the show. Sorry. Back to the show, which is hosted by Caitlin, who we could call the wet pool deck, because I'm falling for
her. Like the guy who jumps the fence and falls.
Right?
I'm just picturing like my feet going right out from under me, just like they did in Cabo, and I dropped my ice cream on the ground.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Jenny.
No, I'm thinking of Wendy Peppercorn. Walk, please.
Wendy Peppercorn. That's Jenny. She's my innocent, thoughtful sunfish.
Ooh.
I know. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to someone on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, hey, check you out.
I know, right? I did it right this time. Called Symphonics. They said,
nice name.
I know, right? Lots of laughs. I really enjoyed listening to Caitlin and Jenny's latest podcast. They obviously have a great rapport with each other, but also provide some good advice for people looking for a new opportunity. I know there are a lot of podcasts out there talking about adulting, but you make it as easy as listening to these 2. Nice work, 80s. Love that review. Thank you so much, Symphonics. Really nice one. You're always welcome to leave us a review. We like those. You can also send us a text if you want to. That's in the show notes. Just say hello.
Yeah.
let's get started. So again, in case you missed it, it's summertime. And everyone's summers are different. So I wanted to just not presume anything. People have year-round schools. Some of us are doing the camp shuffle, which is what we're doing at our house. And we don't want to make any assumptions about what your summer looks like. Maybe you're on vacation. Maybe you're not on vacation. You have to work the entire summer. Like all of those things are, you know, a very real possibility for any one of our listeners. So instead of offering a ton of like fun summer activities that are sometimes meant for parents who stay home all summer and have more time, we're just assembling some of our favorite summer survival articles into one page on our website. So if you go over to ckandjkpodcast.com and go to resources, there is a page underneath that called Summer Survival Guide, and you can find a curated list of articles to help you survive summer. We're talking about summer beauty, activities for you to do with your kids, you know, how sunscreen, which is important, things like that we know that people need help with, and not all the resources are great. And I promise you, none of the articles that I'm putting on there or that Jenny's sending to have put on there are articles that have like 1,000 stories before they actually get to the meat of the show.
Also, none of them are Pinterest pressure either.
Oh no, absolutely not.
We're not sending anything that like requires being cute.
We're not. No, there's none of that is necessary here. All right, so let's get started with these pool noodle hacks. Some of them are actually really genius. So I'm going to start by sharing my sources for today. One of them is by Elizabeth Narins for Scary Mommy, and the article title caught my eye. It is so great. It's called "The Moms of TikTok Are Out Here Hacking the Shirt Out of Pool Noodles." That was great. And the other one is 27 pool noodle hacks that will improve your life. I don't know about that. Improve your life? Like that's a little...
Improve your life.
Improve your life.
That's what CKGK is all about.
Improving your life. By Marsha Repke for The Family Handyman. Did you know there was a website called The Family Handyman? I did not.
No.
I have to say this too, and this is also on the Scary Mommy article. Please just practice good judgment. If we are borrowing TikTok hacks, there are certain things that we should do and certain things we should not. So if you're ever concerned about the safety of something, please just don't do it. Or ask a doctor. Whatever. Just putting that out there. Okay. So a couple of these were actually quite brilliant. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 11 that I really liked of those 27 and the other ones that were from the moms. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. So
11 is a number you can make out of pool noodles.
Yes, you can just hold them.
Yeah.
And they'll be an 11. Yep. Okay. Door slam deterrent. What? Yeah. This is from at LJFLOM mom. LJ Flow Mom. I don't know. So she starts by like taking the pool noodle and hacking off like a foot-long chunk of it.
Okay.
And then she slices it down the middle, like lengthwise.
Okay, so now you got like a little boat.
Yeah. And then she stretches it around the edge of a door. Which I thought was really smart. Like, so that when she
shove it on there.
Yeah, you just like open it up like a taco shell and you just put it right on the door.
So when she slices it, she does not cut it all the way through.
Right.
Just one side is getting a slit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A slit in one side. Yes, I should have made that clear.
No, you did now.
Yes. So you could. Some people were like, well, you could just put a towel over the door and it won't slam when you close the door. Well, yeah, okay, but also, like, what if you have toddlers and little fingers can get pinched? The pool noodle will stop that from happening. So that's
amazing.
A nice little idea.
I think I'm going to do it on my baby gate at the top of the hall.
Yeah.
Because when the dog opens it, first off, we don't have babies anymore. The gate was just, like, built into the house, and it would require a lot of wall restructuring if I took it off.
Right.
So we just leave it up.
Right.
But one of the dogs can open it and the other dog can't. But neither one of them can stop it from slamming.
Right. So you could make it so that it'll soften it at the very least.
Yes.
Yeah. Smart. I also like this because this is same idea, but using it in the garage.
Okay.
So you can prevent door dings on your car with strategic pool noodle placement. So same idea, cut it into a chunk and then like go down a slit. Don't cut the whole thing in half so that you have like 2 semicircles. Just make a slit down one side. And then you can put it on the studs of your garage if your studs are exposed, so that when you open your car door, it doesn't ding into the studs.
Well, you could probably just glue it onto the wall too.
Yeah, you could. You totally could. And secure it with
also like
hardcore glue. Yeah.
If you don't use the whole pool noodle, if you don't use the whole thing, it also becomes a parking guide, right? Like you got to line your door up in between this space.
Yeah, exactly. You can also, this guy says you can adhere it to the studs with construction cement or a couple of nails. That's one way to do it. Or if you open the lift gate of your SUV, and you can hit part of the garage, like the cross braces on the garage, put pool noodles on the cross braces so that when the lift gate opens on your SUV, you don't ding the lift gate.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Speaking of, have you seen those videos of the Cybertruck cutting vegetables?
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Yes. What if it's your finger?
Right?
Yes.
So you need to put pool noodles on the corners of your Cybertruck.
And your fingers. Like when you were eating raspberries as a kid and you just put your fingers. Or bugles.
Bugles. Yeah.
I'm so glad we both went there. Okay. You can just use adhesive, double-sided tape, duct tape, whatever, to hold it on the lift gate. Or not the lift gate of your car. Hold on the garage.
Yeah, don't glue it to your car. I was kidding about putting a pool noodle on your Cybertruck. What you really need to put on your Cybertruck is a for sale sign. Oh.
How many of our listeners do you think drive a Cybertruck? I'm going to go on a limb and say less than 1%. And that's generous. Okay. Toddler bumper.
Okay.
This is from...
do you wrap it around the toddler?
like a bubble suit?
You're right.
Like the suit in The Christmas Story when he's like, I can't...
Yes.
No, this is from @Mrs. KC Mama. She uses a red pool noodle under her kid's fitted sheet to create like a bumper to keep the toddler from rolling off the bed. So you put it under the sheet so that
bumper polling.
Yeah, exactly. So that they can't.
Does it have to be a red pool noodle?
It does not. My understanding is that it could be any color.
Okay.
Let your kid choose.
I just like that you specify she uses a red
one in the video. That's all I'm saying. Now, here's my concern about this, and I might be wrong with this, but if you're a toddler, this is still an age of shoving things into your face, your mouth hole, right? Chewing on things. So I do have a little bit of a concern about like a toddler starting to chew on that, and I don't know. I feel
like also maybe like a rolled towel could do the same.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with a rolled towel. That one I like
you could
more.
Even like duct tape it to keep it rolled.
Yeah, or wrap it in like a couple of
hair tie,
and like saran wrap a hair tie, something like that. I think the hair tie is a really good idea. So I don't
let's not
necessarily
put saran
love
wrap
that
in our
one.
Kids' bed.
It's another chewing hazard. You're right. So can you tell it's been a long time since I've had a toddler?
Right.
Saran wrap.
Well, I was like toddler bumper. What is this? Like I can't
put my arms down. Okay. So another one, bunk bed ladder buffer. This one I actually thought was a really good idea. This is from @Chelsea Hatfield with an underscore at the end. You use scissors to cut the noodle, or just use a knife. Like I've heard serrated blade is probably the easiest way to do this. Do this away from children and do it over a cutting board.
We have a knife called the Hardcore Carnivore. I bet it would do a good job.
Can you make our knives now? Oh dear. Okay. So cut
Just say-
the pool noodle into the length of the rungs on your bunk bed, and then do the same thing we did for the door, where you cut a slit down
Right.
part
And
of
then
the
it's
pool
like,
noodle, and then you wrap it around the rungs of the ladder. I personally would be worried that they would slip off, so I'd probably want to secure them with like wrap some duct tape around that so that they don't.
right.
Um,
Zip tie.
zip tie would be another good one, as long as you cut the edges off so it's not going to be pointy and hurt your kid's foot.
Right. You can actually use a nail file.
Oh, smart.
And you can use a sawing motion
yeah.
on the zip ties. Don't do it on your fingernails. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, go ahead and go back and do that and learn why my nails have been splitting for 40 years.
Also, I would not recommend using your glass nail file on the zip tie. Use one of those crappy ones. So,
Yeah. No, little throwaway emery boards. Sorry.
This other one I thought was pretty smart, although it's like, this is a little bit of a stretch. The way that the Scary Mommy article described it was cheap, easy, endlessly entertaining toys. Endlessly entertaining is where the stretch comes in. So this is the at Handson family. Handson.
Okay.
Not Handson, Handson. Okay. All
Or
you need to do is
hands-on?
cut your, yes, like hands on. I bet that it's hands on family. More coffee. All right. All you need to do is cut your pool noodles into smaller pieces, like rings.
Your face was so good. Oh, yeah. That's what it says.
What word did you use in the last episode? Smather?
Smather.
You guys, we're so professional. We're really good at teaching other adults how to be an adult, a grown-up. Because I say things like hand sun instead of hands on, which is clearly what it is. Anyway, this family they cut their pool noodle into like rings, and then they used them to, kids can play in the tub with them. They stacked them. They made them into little like giant necklaces. I thought this was kind of weird, but if you're constantly having bath toys and your kids are young enough to be entertained by rings, why not? Why not? Right?
That is like a good fine motor and hand-eye coordination practice of you could use just regular rope, if you like nylon rope, if you burn the end and keep it from fraying. That would also like give you a hard stop that the kids could then use to thread through the rings.
Yeah. I think that works for like maybe a season of your kid's life. Like it's not like a thing that you could give to your 7-year-old and be like, here, play in the tub with these rings. Yeah, no, you're done. Okay. This one is one of my favorites. Probably my second favorite one. A DIY sprinkler. I loved this. Grace Scherer patches up one end of the pool noodle with like some sort of adhesive, like water tape, like whatever that tape is that you like that the guy in the infomercial slaps onto the leaking boat or whatever. Right. Like that. She takes the one end of a hose, uses that kind of tape to shove it into a pool noodle and attach it there. And then she takes some scissors and she stabs the mess out of this pool noodle, and all of the water comes flying out of the pool noodle like a sprinkler. And I thought it was so smart.
That's amazing. Flex tape.
There it is. Love it. Okay.
I like the idea of stabbing it with the scissors too, because when you said DIY sprinkler, I had envisioned like using a drill to do the holes. That is not as cathartic.
No, and also unnecessary. If you do that with a pool noodle, shred the whole pool. Let me get my drill for this styrofoam. I have no upper body strength, okay? All right. Keep your plants cool with this one. This is at PennyJoe8. She says for plants in pots, you can use pool noodles standing vertically to fill the container to about 3/4 of the height of the container. And that way you don't need as much soil in your largest containers. And you're helping with drainage. It's like the same reason why you put rocks in the bottom of a flower pot, because it helps the draining better. But this is even better because you don't have to it's not going to be so heavy when you set this up. I thought it was really smart.
I feel like it's a good thing to do with your pool noodles after your dog chewed it, or it's like not really holding up. Like no one's going to see it.
Right, exactly. I thought it was a really good idea.
It reminds me of that dish that you sometimes see people make on the internet in a springform pan where they put the rigatoni standing
upwards.
up and then they put the sauce and then they cut it into pie. I would never do that because it takes so long, but it always looks pretty.
Right. Who's got the energy to do that with
to make noodles stand up?
Like, no. Again, bugles. You just like shove the rigatoni noodles on your fingers and you just... That's the way I would do it. It would be a disgusting meal. Nobody would want to eat it because my fingers all in it. I do wash my hands before I cook, but it's still like Have you
seen that Saturday Night Live skit where John Goodman is the host and he's a chef?
Oh my, this is already a mess.
Yeah, and he's like being this Louisiana cook and he says, yeah, I always spit twice in a dish so that a little bit of me is going to you or whatever.
Made with love.
Like, every dish has a little bit of you in it. Then you just spit twice in every dish.
It's so gross. Oh my gosh.
And it's on that bit that Phil Hartman did where he was the anal retentive chef.
Oh yeah,
and he would like throw his trash away by wrapping it in foil and then in a garbage bag and then like stapling it shut. So he's like having this guest chef who says, I spit twice in every dish.
And he's like completely panicking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay. It's
from 1994. It's probably 30 years old.
I was going to say, Phil Hartman's been gone for a while now.
Yeah, he died a long time ago.
Oh goodness.
But there's a good podcast about his death.
Oh.
I listened to it within the last couple of years. I'll see if I can find it. We can put it in the show. It's like a true crime, like behind the scenes.
Episode and find out what a podcast.
Here's the podcast about Phil Hartman
dying. Speaking of death, pool noodle hack for trampolines. I am not a fan of trampolines.
No.
Because danger. But if you have one and you have...
When I was growing up, we had a kid fall on ours and break his collarbone.
Exactly.
Luckily, this was before everybody was so litigious. And so it was just like, yeah, jumped on trampoline, broke my collarbone. That's just life.
Oopsie doopsie.
Now I'm like, I wouldn't have a trampoline if you paid me.
No.
If someone gave it to me, I would give it back.
Yeah. It would immediately go in the Buy Nothing Facebook group.
Yes.
Okay. No pinch trampoline springs. If you have springs, again, cut the noodle to the length of the springs, cut a slit down one side, and then put it over the spring of the trampoline so it doesn't pinch anybody. Wrap it with tape or zip ties so it doesn't come off, and you can secure your trampoline springs so that you don't get pinches with them. I just repeated myself in 3 different ways. Choose the one that makes sense to you.
It would be fun to see a trampoline get crushed in the back of a trash truck.
I'm picturing right now the episode of The Office where Michael is going to jump onto a bounce house, but they do tests first on a trampoline with watermelons.
Oh, yes.
And
their faces when it bounces off.
Yeah. And it immediately lands on Stanley's car and destroys. It's like an exploded watermelon on the way back. But
yeah.
And that episode is actually about very severe mental health issues. So I don't want to make light of it, but right now, then the next thing that Michael says is take apart the trampoline and stick it in the baler. Which he's not supposed to use. So there's that. Okay. We've talked about this one before.
Have you seen the video that the Chiefs put out about their announcement of their season? And it goes week by week against their opponent, and it's a hydraulic press pressing different items that represent that opponent.
Oh, I haven't.
So like on the week that they're playing the Chargers, there's a bowl of iPhone chargers in the compressor, and then, you know, it gets smashed and pieces fly everywhere. The week they're playing the Browns, it's just full of Tootsie Rolls. Like, it's good. It's a funny one.
That could go either way. I do like Tootsie Rolls. I know I'm one of like the only people in the world who likes them, but I really do like them.
Oh, I love them.
You do?
Yeah. I do not like the white ones, but I do like the yellow and the green. But I love Tootsie Rolls. They're great for a road trip because they don't melt.
And
So
if
you can
they
have
do, that means
chocolate.
they've all been congealed. And
Yeah,
you
that's
know what?
gross.
Super
But
Tootsie
if
Roll
you
doesn't
want
sound so
chocolate
bad
on a
to me.
road trip, yeah, Tootsie Roll, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I like
Rolos,
them.
no, they melt and they get gross.
So do
You
Reason.
can't have those on a road trip. Yeah, no.
Reason are good, but
Not
anyway.
on a road trip. All right, sorry.
Next one, pool noodle boot storage. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
You just cut them into the length of your boot and then you shove them into your boot and it helps your boot keep the shape. Love that one. It's a good one. This add-on from the Family Handyman says, also great for drying mucklucks.
So if you happen to live in Chicago and you have snow boots, this is a great way to help them dry. But
turn them over on the pool
if you live in Austin, you don't own snow boots, let alone need to dry them.
I have them because they're a carryover from when I lived in Denver, but otherwise, no, I would not have them here. No. Okay, hanging clothes. This one I actually thought I was having a hard time picturing it, and then all of a sudden it makes sense. So when you are hanging up like dress pants,
yes,
you know how you hold them, you put them over the rung in the
bar
middle,
of the hanger.
Yes, the bar of the hanger, and then they can crease on that.
Yes,
that's annoying. So this person suggested taking the pool noodle, cutting it to the length of the hanger bar, and again, slit down the middle, wrap it around the hanger bar, put something on it so that it doesn't roll off, and then you put your pants over it and it won't crease. But that takes up a lot of space in your closet, so I don't like it as much.
But when you get your pants dry cleaned, the dry cleaner has that like little cardboard tube.
Yeah.
So this is like a really big version of that, which could make sense for specific pants, right? Like I wouldn't do it for every pair of dress pants my husband has.
Jeans.
Like that's going to take up too much space. But like the pants for his suit.
Or his tuxedo. Like something like
tuxedo,
that.
Exactly. Yes. Right? Like you can give up that much closet space because you're now making it so that you don't have to iron the tuxedo pants because they're not worn often enough that they will have the crease.
Yeah. So it would keep the crease you want it to have if we're still doing the crease down the middle.
Right.
But it's not going to have an additional one across
your knees. Yeah.
I don't like how much space that takes up, but you're right. Like for one or two things, it seems fine. Okay, this one is my favorite. This is the last one I have. Floating beverage barge.
I just love the idea of beverage barge. This is great alliteration.
Cut short lengths of
How about
noodles.
Instead of floating, we call it buoyant? Buoyant.
I like buoyant. That's how I'm going to say the word after I've taken out the beverages that are in it and consumed them. Buoyant beverage barge.
All I have had to drink today is coffee. Why did I say buoyant?
Scientific.
And it kind of ruined the whole thing because I really wanted to make the emphasis on the words.
You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
No, I just made up a word.
I just needed to say that line. It's fine. Okay.
Buoyant beverage barge.
Buoyant beverage barge. I like that better. You have to leave that in, by the way.
I will. Funny. Please.
Okay.
Let's stay.
You cut short lengths of pool noodles to fit a plastic bin. So you want, and then again,
like a storage bin.
Like a storage bin. And then you wrap. You're gonna put each of the pool noodle pieces on the length of the outer edge of the storage bin.
Okay.
Then, or actually, this is even better. Don't cut it. Don't do the slit down the middle because that's not going to help it. Instead, just make it so that it fits the edge, and then you're going to put a bungee cord through the pool noodles.
Okay, so this is like letting your kids thread the needle through little rings. Only these rings now are like 22 inches long.
Right. So you're going to thread your bungee cord through it. And then when you put your beverages in the plastic bin, the pool noodle pieces will help your beverage barge stay buoyant.
That is hilarious.
Yep.
I love
And
it.
if you take a little piece of the noodle, you can like wrap it around um a piece of like rope or something, so you can just grab the little donut and pull the beverage barge towards you.
Yes.
It's easier to grab that way. This is me trying to describe things that are highly visual in an audio medium.
Hey, it's worked for me. I haven't seen any of them, and I'm getting good pictures in my mind.
Okay, great. I hope you guys are visual people because you need to be. So I did 11 things. A lot of them are about protecting doors, protecting your children, and protecting your mental health by having a beverage barge. You're welcome.
Beverage barge.
Let's take a break.
Part of surviving summer is slowing yourself down, and GK and I are taking our own advice. We'll release a new episode every other week during the summer of 2024, and we'll be back with weekly episodes after Labor Day. As always, thanks for listening, and happy summer.
I wonder if that could like be the name of
A band?
company. Oh, band would be good. I'm thinking a company that like floats down the river and sells drinks to people who didn't bring their own to float.
Buoyant beverage barge?
Yes. And that people will be like, oh, the Triple B's coming.
But then it's also Triple B like Better Business Bureau, so you know it's vetted. I might be a little slap happy right now. Just saying.
All right, let's talk about what we're obsessed with. And my obsession is reflective of some tragedies that have happened in my life recently.
Oh no.
I am just really obsessed with owning my own carpet cleaning machine.
I
will tell you, if you don't already own one, like, this should be something you are saving towards. It's just a lifesaver to be able to spill something and then go get the cleaning thing out of the garage or closet or whatever and just clean it up.
Yeah.
There was a time in my life where I had to rent it and you would be like, oh, I got to stain. I got to hand scrub this. No.
Or you're like me and you won't even rent it. You're just like, nope, I guess it is what it is right now.
Yeah. Yesterday, I spilled red soup. And you know what I did? Went to the garbage cleaner and just cleaned it up like it was nothing.
That's so nice.
It was great.
I own a green machine, which is the like
yeah,
thistle.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But it's for smaller areas. I have used it to clean the couch. Game changer.
Right.
Lifesaver, game changer, best thing ever. And it makes the couch smell better. Like,
oh yeah.
Because the couch is covered in feet and butt. Just
and in our house, dog
and food. It's just gross. So yeah, I'm with you. I need to do. You have to send me the one that you have. I'll add it to the list of items, but also I want to purchase.
Yeah. And now we're buying a tile cleaner.
Ooh, smart. I have a steamer. I have the Bissell steamer. Oh, I love that thing. I used it for steam cleaning the tiles because we have wood look tile in the house, and it's great, except that those little grooves in the wood look tile keep dirt. Keep it. So you can mop the floor and you think it's clean, and then you steam it and you're like, oh my God, this is so nasty. Like, not even just like the steamer mop. We're talking like it's so gross. Anyway,
yeah, because we have like the steam mop.
Yes,
I want the one with the brushes.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Okay, your turn.
Part of the research I was doing for this curated surviving summer page is like activities for parents to do with their kids in the heat of summer. We're talking about things like when it's raining and you can't go outside, what do you do? When your kids say they're bored for the 14th time and you have screen time limits, what do you do? This one was whatever makes you happy, happy hour.
Ooh.
You had me at happy hour, first of all. I love a good happy hour. Regardless,
we have taught Kit about happy hour. He can only have Capri Sun between 3 and 6. And so he'll ask, like, oh, is it happy hour? And be like, no, sorry, it's not happy hour.
That's the best.
And sometimes he'll remember it. It's too late. I'm like, oh no, 6:02. Happy hour's over.
Happy hour's over. You lost that deal. I'm all about the happy hour because it allows me to do my thing with fun people and still be in bed by 9:00. This is why we love it so much. Now, this is a different version of happy hour, although if it gets implemented at my house, which it may very well, I will be imbibing during this time. Just putting that out there.
That's what makes me happy.
This mom and dad have a whatever makes you happy hour, as in this is the 1 hour of the day before dinner where the kids get to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, we're not talking, it's screen-free time, okay? Mm-hmm. But this is like, you want to make a mess and go play in a mud puddle? Go for it. You want to make your own chalk for the, chalk drawings on the street? Do it. You want to play with ice and food coloring? Whatever it is, I don't care. 1 hour, be as messy as you want, as clean as you want, do whatever you want. We're going to be outside. I'm going to just let you do it. Because it's during the witching hour for kids, right? We all know what the witching hour for kids.
The witching hour. You're so cute. We call it the arsenic hour at our house.
It is definitely the holy crap, your meds have worn off and you're hungry and tired. Like, it's the save me hour. It's not a happy hour at all. It's the mommy needs this.
Someone
hour.
at our house is getting arsenic. It's them or me. I don't know.
So I just love the idea. I thought it was great. I'm going to link it in this episode's blog post, but you'll also be able to find it under that Surviving Summer page on our website. Again, go to ckandgkpodcast.com, go to resources and find the Surviving Summer page and you'll find it there. So
love
funny.
It. Okay. Time for the gem.
Do it.
This was a conversation I was having with a man who is married. He is the parent of one of the girls on Abigail's flag football team.
Okay.
And they had just won the season.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You told us that.
Rings,
that was great.
Whole deal.
Yeah.
And we are at the traditional you won a flag football game place, Dairy Queen, the Texas stop sign. And we're sitting there and John and I say, hey, let's go get a beer after this.
Nice.
It's early enough in the evening. And so I invite this dad and I was like, oh, you want to come with us? We're going to go get a beer. And Abby and his daughter have played on the same team for a long time. He's very active in the team. Like, we have a good relationship.
Sure.
And he says, well, I would love to, but my wife is at home with our sick son.
Mm.
And it is my job to bring Chick-fil-A to her. I said, oh, that's awful. He said, yeah, she actually had to call into work. She's a nurse. And she works the night shift. And so in order for me to go to this game, she had to call in so that she could stay home with our sick son. Mm-hmm. So, oh, well, she should have just said that she was working from home that day.
Oh, groaner.
He said, oh. Yeah. He says, oh, I'm totally going to make that joke. Food first.
Food
then
first.
Jokes.
Yeah, shove. First,
I was
shove
like, yeah,
the Chick-fil-A into her hands.
You hand her the bag of food first, and then you say, hey, guess what I thought of? You shouldn't have called in. You should have told him you're just working from home.
I love dad jokes, but yeah, you can only make them when she has the food in her hand.
Right.
Because otherwise, she's going to rip your face off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is...
But this is just a life lesson. Food first, then jokes.
Food first, then jokes. Always. Especially for your wife. If you are a partner of a person who is identifying herself as female and you want to make a crass joke about something, first
you want to make fun of her having to call in to stay home with your sick kid while you went out with
you got to go out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, for me, it was tacos. I want a taco first, then we can have a discussion about other things. But first, tacos. Tacos are always a great
Yes.
shove food into wife face. Just not like the cake at the wedding. You don't actually physically shove it into
No.
her face, but you do hand her the taco and then you ask for your golf day. All right. So mine is my son. We're back into animals these days. Like we go through
Ooh.
phases, right? It's Godzilla, then it's Pokemon, then it's back to Godzilla, then it's a show called Pinky Malinky, which I don't know if you've ever seen this show on Netflix.
Mm-mm.
It gives like Family Guy vibes for kids. Where like there's these random things that are happening.
Like little cutaways.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty funny. There has not been a reference to Conway Twitty, which always happens on Family Guy, and I always love that, where Peter just like drops everything. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. No.
Yeah.
It's so great. But Pinky Malinky is an obsession. Also shout out to Retta, who is the mom. Retta is Donna from Parks and Rec, and she's on Pinky Malinky, which is so great.
Oh, wow.
I actually like Pinky Malinky. I think it's funny. And now we're back on animals, and apparently the favorite animal
He
right
just
now.
has diversified interests.
Yes,
This makes him a very interesting person.
it does. It also demonstrates ADHD in its finest forms of the hyperfixation.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Because he's not interested in all of these things at the same time.
No, it is an obsession for weeks on end, and then it will shift, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does, all of a sudden, the other things have been completely forgotten about. Right now, again, we're back on animals, but this particular animal is a white tiger. Now, he's obsessed with calling it a king tiger. Apparently, that's a thing. I didn't know it was a thing, but I guess it is. So yesterday,
when I lived in Japan, they had the white tiger circus, and now we know like circus is terrible. Like, do not go to a circus that has real animals.
Yeah.
But man, this white tiger circus was cool.
I'm sure it was.
And you know, those tigers probably need therapy now, but
I'm sure they do. There is a white tiger at the Austin Zoo. Which
the Austin Zoo, like has
it's
a dog
basically
and
an
a
animal
pig
rescue.
and a white tiger.
Yeah, a really big pig and a white tiger, and some monkeys and bears,
and like a couple of gerbils that people turned in, like,
and a goat area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're obsessed with white tigers. Anyway, yesterday we're reading this animal encyclopedia that he has, and he did the tiger page, and then he turns the page to squirrel monkeys, and he's very quiet for a moment. And then all of a sudden he just goes, Dad, a squirrel monkey will wipe a pee. And I didn't even know what he was going to say after that, because I just immediately started laughing because...
But just the females.
Oh, a squirrel monkey will wipe a pee, not some pee, a pee.
A pee.
And I think he was going to say something about how he learned on Wild Kratts that they do it to like repel mosquitoes or something. I didn't even let him get any further.
Sorry.
Because I was just like, what? It's so quiet. We're all just calmly reading our books for the evening on my bed, our bed. And he just, Dad, a squirrel monkey will wipe a pee. And then I couldn't let him get any further. I thought it was so funny because it just felt like it completely came out of nowhere.
Right, it did.
It's so quiet, and then you start talking about wiping pee on something. Like what?
Yeah.
And I look
not
over,
just wiping pee, but squirrel monkeys wiping pee.
A pee, just
a pee,
just a pee. And my husband just doesn't handle any sort of like. He always says if he could handle blood, he would have been a doctor, but it's not blood. Like, it's any bodily function. Like, he just doesn't want to talk about it at all. Okay. It's totally not okay for him. So when I look over that's when he's like, oh God, like, what? Like, please no. Meanwhile, I have the maturity of a 7th grader, which is why I was teaching 7th grade. And right. I think this is hilarious. I'm like, tell me all the fart stories because I think they're funny, because they are. And Sam, like, then he knows that I'm cracking up. So of course he can't, like, he has to repeat the same line 15 times because that's what you do. You have to beat the joke until it's completely dead when you're 7. But oh man, it was just one of those moments where I was like, I don't even know where it's just going and I don't care. Like, this is hysterical.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because
this is the best lead up to anything.
it could have been about, like, on a DNA test tube to cure cancer, and it wouldn't have.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It was just so funny. Yeah. So making jokes about urine without even realizing it. This is why 7-year-olds are the best, because they just say funny things without intending to. Ugh. Anyway.
All right. Well,
don't wipe pee.
Don't wipe pee. Or a pee, or some pee, or the pee. Your pee, my pee. We all scream for
no.
Pee. All right. Okay.
Is that your good choice?
Yeah. Yeah. When you're deciding what facts about squirrel monkeys to share, make good choices.
I don't even have anything. I'm just done. Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.